Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. God, this is so dumb. I can't believe I'm posting this because it's so ridiculous. Little context. Mom and Dad divorced because he came out of the closet. Growing up, I had to live with my mom and her new misogynistic husband, who I hate because he's just bonkers and made my life miserable. I'm now living with my dad, and this happened in a video chat I had today with my mom. One of my cousins was planning to marry in July, not anymore, so that's how we got into the topic and the next conversation. Mother, I'm so sad Jasmine is not getting married this year, but I'm sure when it happens it would be gorgeous. She is so classy, like you, my dear. Oh, OP, can you imagine your own wedding? I just get shivers when I think about it. You in a beautiful princess dress getting out of a limo and then walking into a cathedral to meet the love of your life. It's like I can see it right now. The veils, the details, the flowers on the floor, Alex's, my stepdad, suit matching your gown as he walks you down. Me, wow, stop there, Mom. Mom, what, why? Me, apart from the fact that I hate pompous clothes and have a not so good relationship with the church, why would Alex walk me down? If I have a ceremony, it's obvious Dad is the one giving me away. Mom, OP, you know Alex considers you his only daughter. You can't take that away from him. He raised you more than your father did. Me? No, he didn't. You did it. Dad did it. My grandparents did it. My teachers did it. Hell, even the neighbor did more for me than him. Mom, language, OP. And you can't be that ungrateful. He has supported our family for the last decade. Me? Really? Did Dad stop paying for our school, clothes, phones, etc. without me knowing? Mom? Well, no, but... Me? Then case closed. Mom? Fine, then both can walk you down. Me? Not happening, Mom. I will first have Daniel, Dad's boyfriend, then Alex in that combo. Mom? That man? You can't let that stranger walk you down. She wanted to say fag word, but was able to catch herself. Me. For me, he is as much of my stepdad as Alex is, and I like him more. Mom, and what if your dad and Daniel can't be there? Then Alex would be your only choice. Me. Before you start making another of your crazy plans against Dad, I warn you that I would first ask Gramps, her dad, or one of my little brothers. Then, of course, it would be you, and in the most desperate times, I would walk alone. Alex is not even Plan Z, Mom. Mom, how can you say that? I can't believe you're being so rude to me. What? Then she started ugly crying for about 10 minutes and ended the call. I have tried to text her, but she's not answering, and my little brother just called me to say that she has been throwing a tantrum for the last 3 hours. All this drama, just because I don't want Alex to walk me down in a wedding I don't even have a boyfriend for. Were my words that rude? Because I can't really understand this reaction. What do you think? Am I the a-hole? You're not the a-hole, OP. It's very obvious who the a-hole is in this scenario. Your mom has an image of how she thinks your wedding should go in her head, and she told you about that image. It's nice that you guys got to have that conversation and she got to know that you want absolutely nothing like the wedding that is in her head for you. You are totally within your right to not want your stepdad to walk you down the aisle. It's your wedding. Your mom has no say in it. And she's the a-hole for trying to guilt trip you and manipulate you into changing your mind. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Next time she does this, just tell her that you're not getting involved in hers and your dad's former relationship, nor in their respective sexual preferences and/or lives. They are your parents, but feel free to comment on what your stepdad has done to you and how your mother has allowed it, or better yet, just make an excuse and hang up. Not the a-hole. Keep at it with your very reasonable boundaries. She is making her relationship about you, and in no way is it about you. He is not your dad, and nor do you think of him as a father. She can argue with you about that until she's blue in the face, but that won't change your mind. Personally, if this were me, I would take this off the table entirely. If she brings it up again, say, "Mom, we've had this conversation before and it ends badly. I'm not going to have Alex walk me down the aisle. This isn't open for debate. Can we talk about something else?" Not the a-hole. First of all, like you said, you're not even getting married yet. Second, no one is entitled to any place in your wedding party, no matter how much they contributed to your life, especially if they as a person make you uncomfortable or miserable. Also, I've never liked that someone has to walk you down the aisle. I have a bad relationship with my dad and adore my stepdad, but I still chose to walk down the aisle with my husband, since we're supposed to be partners, and I liked that idea far better than being given away. Story 2. Last year, I, 26 female, went to an auction and bought a house with my mother's help. She and I went to the auction without telling my father. Initially, we were just going to see how the process works, and my mother encouraged me to participate. Honestly, neither of us believed I would have the winning bid. The house was a plum ripe for picking. Living with my father is absolutely unbearable. He gets pissed off and blows up at anything. He is generally unreasonable and constantly views himself as the victim. Even before I bought the house, rarely would there be a day where he didn't blow up about something or anything, yelling and ripping into me constantly, what amounts to verbal abuse. My family has a history of bipolar on my father's side. I have struggled with depression a lot in the past, falling into periods where I don't want to do anything or be anywhere. I feel like a ghost. In general, he is a very pessimistic, depressing person. I absolutely cannot take it anymore. He is a spiteful and vindictive little man with an even smaller fuse. He is narcissistic to a degree. He believes everything revolves around him. He has always been controlling, doing everything he can to micromanage my life, and I have always gone along with it to avoid a blow-up. You can't take that vacation because I don't want you to go. You can't go to that festival or concert because I don't want you to go. He has to be the one to make all the decisions. He cannot stand not having control over anything. Saying no to him in any capacity results in a blow-up. He thinks he buys everything. Everything belongs to him. All the money spent is his. Where do you think she gets her money from? He has gone through my mail and has even looked through my bank book. My mother helped me buy the house, but she used her money. She owns the rental. Mom says his main point of contention is that we did not consult him about it first and he has no control. He keeps telling me to fix up the house and sell it, so that he can get all of his money back from the house, and I can take the profit from the sale and use that for a house that I can live in. It hurts knowing he's upset, and it hurts just how ugly he's being. How once I move out, he will never come over to that house. Or how we sold him out and royally screwed him over. I honestly considered selling my house just to try and smooth things over. My mother tells me to ignore him as best as I can. She keeps encouraging me and telling me how happy I will be at my house, how good it will be for me to be in a different environment. I just wanted to get away from my father. I wanted some peace. I wanted some place that feels like home. So am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, OP. When you have your own space, you get to set the boundaries and the rules. He can't come in and make it his space because it belongs to you and you alone. If he is visiting and begins to berate you or lash out, you can make him leave and put him in a timeout. That lack of control is most likely what has set him off. But he sounds like a poorly behaved person in general. The money that your mother used was hers, not his. If you want, you can make arrangements to pay your mother back over time. I agree with your mom that you need to just go ahead and keep the house for yourself. You deserve peace. Now for some comments. Absolutely this. So much not the a-hole. From your post, he sounds like a controlling and abusive narcissist. Both you and your mom sound like you will be better off without him looming over you 24/7. He needs to learn that your entire life isn't about him. It almost sounds like he's looking at you like a project he has worked to success rather than an autonomous, sentient human. Get out of there and start living your life. You'd be so much happier for it. As someone who grew up with an unbelievably cruel father whose pastime of choice was yelling at me till I cried, living in a verbally abusive home is for no one. I bet if you move out, things will smooth over faster than selling the house. If you sell, then you are condoning his behavior by letting him get his way. Once I didn't live with my dad, I set my own boundaries. When he came to my house for dinner and decided to yell, I could ask him to leave, please. Eventually it got better. I still hang up on him occasionally, but we get along much better now. He treats me like an adult, not an equal, but it's much better. Not the a-hole. Your mom is pushing you out of the nest so you can get out of that toxic environment. You're 26 for F's sake. It's time to start living your life on your own terms. Your mom is clearly aware of how verbally and financially abusive your father is and is trying to get you safe. Maybe she's doing this to clear the path to leave him herself. Quit worrying about your dad because nothing you do is going to make him happy. Your mom probably had everything planned for a long time, from saving up the money to get the house, going to the auction and making sure the house got put in your name so it would be out of your dad's reach. This doesn't sound like some happy coincidence. Move into that house and be ready for your mom to follow in the near future. Story 3. My sister was married. She had an affair. She told me this after the fact. I did not know during the time it was happening. It's obvious now that I know, but I never would have thought my sister would do something like this. Over multiple conversation, I pieced various things together and realized she invited him to a family gathering with a bunch of mine and my brother-in-law's family members. I met him one other time before and didn't like him because of the way that he looked at her. A primal, turned on kind of way, and it made me super uncomfortable. Yes, they were having their affair throughout all of this and pretended that they were just friends. My brother-in-law eventually found out. They tried therapy. During that time, she claimed that he just wasn't into fixing it, and she didn't want to live with a relationship like that. They got divorced. I found out after the divorce from my brother-in-law that she had moved out of their house to live with this other man during the time that she told me she was still getting counseling with my brother-in-law. I don't know what to believe anymore. I can honestly say that I'm not sure what parts of the story she told me are true and which parts are not. Pretty sure that she had been living with this man before the divorce was finalized, but don't have any proof. I told her that I love her since she's my sister, but I have no obligations or desires to meet this man ever again. I have refused to talk to him or even talk about him since all of this went down. She wants me to forgive and be friends with him, but I don't think I can do that. I don't know if time will heal or not, but just on principle alone, I don't want to be close to someone who lied to my face and pretended like he was something he was not. I know the world isn't black and white, but I just can't see how their relationship can be a happy one down the road. I think this relationship is a mistake. It's been really affecting my relationship with her. I don't want to cut off contact with her. I want to still hang out like we used to. But I don't think she wants to anymore because it means that she can't bring this man along with her. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to meet the man with whom she decided to ruin her marriage? Before anyone asks, if she had told me about her marital problems, I would have never told her she should have stayed in an unhappy marriage. I get that people might drift apart. I simply disagree that just because you are unhappy, you should go out and have an affair. I did not see her exhausting every avenue to try to course correct the marriage, as evidenced by the fact that my brother-in-law did not have any idea she was unhappy. She should not stay in an unhappy marriage, but she should not cheat on her husband either. And no, my brother-in-law was not abusive in any way to her. He is really nice and I loved him like a brother. I have known him since I was in college and had looked up to them as relationship goals. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. It's hard enough learning that someone you care for isn't what you knew in your mind. And the fact that she also wants you to hang out with someone who was part of the cheating and okay with it says a lot about both her and about him. If what I'm reading about you is correct, you shouldn't have to hang out with someone who makes you uncomfortable just to make your sister happy when she was the one who made this mess. and knowingly hurt your brother-in-law, who is also someone who you clearly care for. Sorry, dude. Not the a-hole. Your sister is bad enough, but this bloke knowingly effed a married woman and helped destroy it, coming along and pretending to be a friend all the while he was having sex with her. You can't get rid of your sister, but you don't have to associate with someone who has those morals. They are both bad people for what they did, but she's your sister and you can forgive her. She betrayed the person who was meant to be the closest to her, but he pretended to be a friend all the while, betraying that trust. So why should you trust someone like that around you? Not the a-hole. I agree to an extent. My values make it more difficult for me to have any kind of relationship with someone who has cheated, and it really sickens me that people do it. However, I also think that you are letting your sister get off scot-free as if she wasn't at least responsible. You don't want to talk to or about him, you don't want to be in his presence, but you still want a relationship with your sister, who is the one that actually destroyed the relationship. The fact that he knew about her being married and played along and took part in family events makes him a gross human being. But the fact that your sister is the one who broke her vows, hurt her husband, lied about trying to connect and get help, and actually cheated her relationship makes it just as, if not more, gross.